Decapitated by the Batman roller coaster.
He must have known that he was going somewhere where he shouldn't have gone.
Electrocuted to death by her own cell phone while charging.
A 23-year-old bride-to-be from China died from her iPhone, giving her a massive electric shock.
Sucked into a wood chipper while on the job. These aren't scenes from a horror movie. These are real-life tragedies, some so bizarre and gruesome that they sound almost impossible. But they happened, and the victims never saw it coming. Brace yourself as we dive into the worst ways people have died, Part 8. A trip to Six Flags over Georgia should have been a day of fun, but for 17-year-old Asia Leishawn Ferguson, it turned into an unthinkable tragedy. On June 28, 2008, Asia visited the park with his family and a church group. In a fatal lapse of judgment, he scaled 2 6-foot fences into a restricted area near the Batman, the ride roller coaster, ignoring glaring danger and do not enter signs. As the inverted coaster hurtled toward him at 50 miles per hour, there was no time to react. The force of the impact was catastrophic. Witnesses watched helplessly. His companion, who'd followed him into the zone, narrowly escaped harm. Investigators confirmed the area's safeguards met standards, but no barrier could outweigh a single reckless choice. Asia's death remains a grim lesson. Safety measures exist for a reason. A split-second decision cost a life brimming with potential. "80-year-old Ann Felton's last meal began like any other visit to McDonald's. On September 7, 2011, she and her husband entered the Pooler, Georgia location, unaware of the silent killer seeping through the walls. As Ann reached the women's restroom, an invisible force struck. Carbon dioxide from a ruptured soda fountain line flooded the confined space, displacing oxygen molecule by molecule. Patrons collapsed where they stood, lungs burning, vision swimming. Firefighters arriving on scene would later join the growing list of victims. 9 survived the asphyxiating cloud. Ann never regained consciousness, becoming the leak's final casualty on September 8th. The tragedy exposed a hidden flaw in modern convenience: pressurized CO2 lines snaking through walls to feed soda machines. While the Pooler location replaced its faulty system, this wasn't an isolated incident. Similar leaks had killed a Florida teen in 2005 and sickened a pregnant worker months earlier. Her death became a grim benchmark in food safety, proving even routine spaces can turn lethal through a single cracked pipe. A day at the beach should be carefree, but for 26-year-old Adam Pye it turned into a nightmare. On July 21, 2014, at Half Moon Bay's Francis State Beach, Adam dug 2 diagonal 10-foot holes in the sand, laughing with friends as they tried to connect them into a tunnel. But in an instant, the unstable walls collapsed, burying him alive. Dozens of beachgoers scrambled to dig with their hands and buckets, freeing his head within minutes. But the suffocating weight of the sand trapped his body. Firefighters arrived, battling the shifting grains for 35 agonizing minutes before pulling him out. Paramedics couldn't revive him. Adam had already suffocated under the crushing tide of sand. His death wasn't just a freak accident. From California to New Jersey, sand collapses kill roughly 2 people yearly. Adam, a recent college grad with a bright future, became another silent victim. His grieving family now warns others, even innocent fun can turn deadly. Sand might seem harmless, but in seconds, it can become a tomb. We use our phones every day, But for 23-year-old Ma Aylin, a single phone call turned deadly.
23-year-old reportedly shocked to death while answering a call on her iPhone 5.
On July 11, 2013, the Chinese flight attendant reached for her charging iPhone. Fresh out of a bath, her skin still damp. As she answered, a surge of electricity tore through her body, killing her instantly. Her family demanded answers. Investigators found her charred neck and a faulty charger, likely a counterfeit. Apple scrambled to investigate, warning users about knockoff accessories. Weeks later, they offered discounted replacements globally, a rare move sparked by tragedy. Ma's death became a grim lesson. That innocuous routine could hide lethal risks. A reminder that safety lives in the details, and cutting corners can cost lives. Landscaping is dangerous work, but no one could have imagined the gruesome fate that awaited 42-year-old Hernan Gutierrez.
The landscaper is killed in a wood chipper.
Police say he somehow got caught in the machine, his whole body then pulled in.
On June 23, 2014, at a senior housing complex in Davie, Florida, the Guatemalan immigrant was clearing hurricane-season brush when his routine task turned catastrophic. As Gutierrez fed palm fronds into an industrial wood chipper, the machine's jaws seized him. With no witnesses to explain whether he slipped or was pulled, the seasoned landscaper disappeared into the grinder in seconds. Emergency crews arrived at a nightmarish scene, one so visceral that veteran officers required counseling. In a cruel twist, Gutierrez had recently confided plans to leave landscaping. His girlfriend revealed he'd dreamed of starting a roofing business to better provide for his 3 children in Guatemala. OSHA later confirmed this marked Florida's first wood chipper death in 14 years. A grim statistical footnote to a tragedy that left investigators grasping for answers and a community mourning a hardworking father. After hearing these disturbing stories, one thing is clear. Fate can be horrifyingly cruel. Whether through sheer bad luck, unimaginable suffering, or twisted circumstances, these deaths remind us how fragile life truly is. And what's even scarier, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This was already part 8, meaning we've covered dozens of the most terrifying and bizarre deaths, yet there are plenty more to come. History is filled with chilling, unbelievable endings that defy logic and reason, and we're only scratching the surface. If you thought these stories were shocking, just wait until you hear what's coming next. Which story stuck with you the most? Have you heard of any even more disturbing cases that deserve a spot in the next video? Drop them in the comments. We read them all. And if you want to make sure you don't miss out on the next round of unsettling tales, hit that like button and subscribe. Stay safe, stay aware, and remember, sometimes truth is far more terrifying than fiction. We hope to see you back at our next video.